Good morning, everyone. Now we will see in the previous class we have started the Routh-Hurwitz criteria, and we have seen how to construct the Routh array also. Okay. However, while constructing the Routh array, we can face a few difficulties, and based on those difficulties, this Routh array process is classified into three cases, or can be determined as three cases. And case one is the normal Routh array construction. That means we can construct the Routh array without any difficulty, and we can comment on the poles. That is case one. Coming to the case two, if we get a complete row as zeros, so a row of all zeros, then how to calculate the next rows? Because in order to calculate the next rows, we will depend upon the previous rows, right? According to the construction, you can see we need to, if we want to calculate the next row, we need the previous rows. So if one of the previous row is, suppose consider this row, the entire row is zeros, then you can see y naught is existed in all the parameters like z naught, z1, z2, z3. That means if y naught is 0, y1 is 0, y2 is 0, y3 is 0, and all, now you will get what is 0 by 0. Then how you can construct, how you can uh, process this Routh array? So that was the difficulty, and in order to eliminate the difficulty, we will use a small procedure. I'll tell you that procedure while doing the problem only. So that is our case number 2. So based on that case, we can comment on the polls. So this matter belongs to uh, the case 2 situation. This matter discuss about the case 2 situation. I'll tell and I'll explain how we can comment the polls, how we can comment on the stability for this case 2 also while dealing the problems. Okay, and coming to the case 3, when we are getting the first element of the row is 0, that means let us consider only this y naught is 0, but all other parameters are non-zeros. If y naught is 0, you can see in each and every element the denominator is y naught only. So anything by 0 will be infinity, right? So if y naught is 0, then how we can calculate all these parameters? This is another difficulty. So how can we eliminate this difficulty? That we will see in the case 3 problems. So the Routh array problems or the Routh array concept is classified in 3 cases. First one is normal Routh array construction. Second one is a row of all zeros. And the third one is only the first element of your row is 0, because uh, we know in the Routh array the first column is very much important, and many people will confuse between columns and rows. See, uh, this green line represent a row, which means you can simply remember row means x-axis like this. So this is a row, and column means the red line. Red line is the column, or you can simply remember as y-axis, because y-axis will be like this. So a column represents y-axis and a row represents x-axis. So when I speaking row, when I speaking about a row, then in your mind you have to be thinking about this line, or this line, or this line like this. Okay, when I'm speaking or when I'm telling about a column, then you have to think about this one, or this one, or this one. So columns are vertical lines, rows are horizontal lines. So you can simply remember row as x-axis, column as y-axis. So who finds the difficulty to identify row or column, or who finds difficulty or who has confusion between row and columns, you simply remember like this. Okay, don't confuse. Column means y-axis, row means x-axis. You simply remember like this, then you will get your confusions will get cleared. Okay, right. So based on the on the case 3, the stability and the comment on the roots can be classified based on this theory. However, this theory also I'll explain while dealing the problems only. While seeing the problems or while doing the problems, we will check these uh, theory also, so that you can understand clearly for case 2 and for case 3 how we can determine the stability as well as how we can comment on the poles. Okay, so we will do case 1 in this class. In the next class we will go for case 2 and case 3, right? So coming to the case 1, which is normal route array construction. So the first problem on normal route array, which is case 1. Now the problem given as using RH criteria means Routh-Hurwitz criteria. Sometimes he mentioned route array also, sometimes he mentioned like this RH criteria also in the examination point of view. So using RH criteria, determine the stability of the system and comment the location of the pole. So what he is asking, so he has given a characteristic equation here. So what we need to find, we need to determine the stability. That is one part. And the second part is comment the location of poles. So we must comment where the poles are, uh, where the poles will come for this given characteristic equation. So you can see here, this is the given characteristic equation. Of course, first, before doing the Routh-Hurwitz problem using this Routh array concept, first you must ensure that all the S powers are given or not. S power 4, S power 3, S square, S power 1 and S power 0. So all the S powers are given. So there is no element of S power is missing. So there is no element is missing. That means we can carry out or we can determine the stability using Routh array. What if the same characteristic equation, it doesn't have this one S power, like 16S is missing here. So S term is missing here. So the given characteristic, now the given characteristic equation is S power 4 plus 8S cube plus 18S square plus 5 is equal to 0. For this characteristic, determine the stability. Like that he may ask using Routh-Hurwitz criteria. Now you can clearly write 2 lines or a single sentence directly without doing the problem. Because according to the Routh-Hurwitz criteria, each and every S power must be there. But here you can see S power 4 is there, S cube is there, S square is there, but here S power 1 is missing. If any of the S power is missed in the characteristic equation, then that system is completely unstable system. So you need not to do the Routh-Hurwitz process, or you need not to construct the Routh array. If you find any of the S power missing in the given characteristic equation, then you can directly write a sentence or write a statement that according to the Routh-Hurwitz concept, so S power 1, there is S power here, the S power 1 is missing. So that means if any of the S power is missing in the characteristic equation, then that system is completely unstable system. So in the problems or in the generally this type of questions we'll ask in the objectives, because while solving, while attempting the competitive exams or mid exams or objective based questions, we don't have much time. We will have hardly 1 minute for one question, right? In that 1 minute, how can we construct all this array, and how can we solve this problem? It will take around 10 to 15 minutes. How can we waste 10 to 15 minutes on a question? So for that reason, if the question asks about to determine the stability only, then directly you can first check this characteristic equation, that whether this characteristic equation is containing all the s powers or not. So you can see s power 4 there, s cube is there, s square is there, but s power 1 is missing. So this is unstable system. Directly, you can write this comment for that question, or you can pick up that option from the quiz. Okay, so everyone, while doing or while constructing the Routh array, must check this: is there any s power is missing or not? You must check this. Okay, now we have got a characteristic equation. There is no missing terms here. S power 4, starting from 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So all the s powers are there. So there is no missing term here. So we can construct a Routh array for this characteristic equation. Okay, so the highest power is s power 4. So we can write s power 4 row. The row 1 name is s power 4. Of course, from s power 4 to s power 0, we can go like this for constructing the Routh array. So the complexity or the length of this Routh array completely depends upon the maximum s power. Here only s power 4 is there. So that's why here we got 5 lines, because 4, 3, 2, 1 and s power 0 is also there. That's why we will get 5 lines. Okay, so if this s power is more, that means s power 8 or s power 9 like that, then we will get 9 rows or 10 rows based on the s power. Okay, so the complexity depends upon this s power, right? So we know how to write this row 1 and row 2, because row 1 is the alternating terms, whether they are even s powers or odd s powers. So the maximum s power is s power 4. So write the coefficient of s power 4 here, which is 1, because there is no coefficient. So 1 will be the coefficient of s power 4. Then leave the immediate term and write the coefficient of next term, which is s square. So s power 4 term, s square term, and then s power 0 term. So 1, here you can see 18 is the coefficient for s square, and 5 is the coefficient for s power 0, because there is no s here. So that's why it is s power 0. So 5 is the coefficient. And then how can we construct a second row, or how can we write the second row, which is s cube? From s power 4 we can start, right? So s cube row. See, you can see we have missed a few terms. So now you construct this s cube row from these missed terms. So here the maximum power for the s cube row is s cube. So from s cube we can start. The coefficient for s cube is 8. So write 8 here, and then s power 1. So the coefficient here is 16, and write, and then now you can see there are no terms here. So only 2 terms will come, 8 and 16. So 2 coefficients as in row 2. Okay, so how row 1 and row 2 is constructed? Row 1 is constructed with the coefficients of maximum s power, and you can see this, if it is even number, then we will write even number coefficients. If it is odd number, then it will be odd number coefficients. So the first row will be based on the even number means even number coefficients, odd number means odd number coefficients. The second row will be vice versa for the first row, because here you can see the first row is s power 4, which is even number. So that's why we have wrote s power 4, s square, s power 0. That means even number terms. The second row will be s cube and s power 1. That means odd number. So the first row is even number, the second row is odd number for this problem, because s power 4 is maximum and this is even. Now you can see, for the simplification purpose, this second row is having 8 multiples. This is 8 multiple and this is 8 multiple. So I can simply divide this second row by 8 for the simplification purpose. I can divide the second row by 8. So 8 by 8, we will get to 1 here. So now rewrite this row again. So 1 here, and 16 by 8, we can write 2 here. So this is for simplification purpose. If there is any chance to simplify like this, then we can simplify it. Okay. So after simplification, you have to rewrite the row. Now our first row is 1, 18 and 5. Our second row is 1, 2. Then we need to calculate this term and this term, which is s square row. We don't know s square row. So the first term in the s square row and the second term in the s square row, we need to calculate. How can we calculate this? We will see now. So in order to calculate this term, what we do? We simply multiply 1 into 18 minus 2 into 1. So 1 into 18, 18 means simply 1 into 18, 1 is 18. And 2 into 1 means 2. So 18 minus 2, what we get? Simply 16, right? So 16 by this term, 16 by 1. So the value will be 16. And to calculate this term, just simply multiply with 1 into 5 according to our Routh construction process. So 1 into 5 is 5 minus, here there is no term or there is no element or coefficient is there here. So simply it is 0. So 0 into 18 is 0. So that means 5 minus 0. 5 minus 0, because sorry, this 0 into 1, not 18, 0 into 1. So 5 minus 0 by 1. So 5 minus 0 means 5. So 5 by 1, we will get 5. And you can see these two terms as calculated here. So this is the calculation for these two terms. And you can see 16 and 5 we got as s square terms. So substitute 16 and 5 here. Right. So now we got s square. We have calculated s square. Then what about s power 1? So s power 1 means, so simply 16 into 2 minus 5 into 1. So 16 to 32 minus 5. 5 into 1 means 5. So 32 minus 5 and divided by 16. Why? Because 16 is the first column term. So 32 minus 5 by 16. So which is 27. 32 minus 5 means 27. So 27 by 16 will be our answer. Okay. And here you can see there are no terms here or coefficients here. So we cannot get any coefficient here. Okay. And 27 by 16 means approximately 1.7. That's why here this term is 1.7. And now the last coefficient, s power 0. So for s power 0, we need to multiply 1.7 into 5 minus, here there is no coefficient, that means 0. So 0 into 16 becomes 0. So 5 into 1.7 minus 0 by 1.7. So 5 into 1.7 minus 0, right? Because 0 into 16 is 0. So that's why 5 into 1.7 by 1.7. So here 1.7 and 1.7 will get cancelled. So we will directly get 5 as the coefficient of s power 0. And here there are no other terms, so only the 5. And this is the last part, last line of Routh array, because the s power has come to 0 here. So s power 0 will be the last line. Now what we need to do, we need to determine the stability of the system. According to the problem, he asked to determine the stability of the system, and we need to comment on the poles. So the stability of the system can be determined based on this first column. You can see the dotted line, the first column, which is y. You can see the dotted line, and we know according to the Routh-Hurwitz statement that the first column doesn't have any sign changes. You can see this is +1, and this is also +1. This is +16. This is +1.7, and this is +5. So all are positive signs. There is no negative sign. So that means there are no sign changes in the first column. Therefore, the system is stable. So you have to write like that. There are no sign changes in the first column of Routh array. Therefore, the given system is stable system. And we need to comment on the location of the poles also. Of course, here all the signs are positive. So there is no change in the sign. That means all the roots are lying on the left half of its plane. So according to the Routh-Hurwitz statement, there is no sign change, so the system is stable, and all the roots are on the left half of the S plane. How many roots will be there? The roots depends upon the maximum power of S. So here the maximum power of S is 4. So there are 4 roots. Of course, all the 4 roots are lying on the left side of the S plane. So this is how we can complete a problem, and this problem can be given for 7 or 8 marks in the examination. Okay, because this is simple problem, right? In the similar way, we can also do another problem. Now look at this problem. This problem is in the previous problem we get the the characteristic equation is directly given. But look at this problem, the second problem. Determine the range of k for stability. So the k value is not given. So we need to calculate this k value for stability. That means to make this system stability, we have to estimate the k value for a unity feedback system with open loop transfer function g of s. So g of s is given, and the unity feedback system, which means h of s is 1. So to determine the stability using RH criteria, we need the characteristic equation. How can we get the characteristic equation? With the help of closed loop transfer function. So we need to calculate the closed loop transfer function, which is C of s by R of s is equal to G of s by 1 plus G of s into H of s. However, H of s is 1, so that's why only G of s is written here. Now we know G of s, substitute and simplify, and then we got the closed loop transfer function as k by s into s plus 1 into s plus 2 plus k. Now the transfer from this transfer function, we can write the characteristic equation, which is the denominator part. Denominator is the characteristic equation, right, for the closed loop transfer function. So simplify this, you will get the characteristic equation like this. So s cube plus 3s square plus 2s plus k. So here there is no s power is missing, and all the signs are also same, positive, 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 positive. So we can construct the Routh array. So the first 2 rows can be written. Now the maximum power is s cube. So the first row will be s cube. So s cube coefficient is 1. So write 1 here. And then s power 1 coefficient we need to write, because s cube, s power 1, and so like that we need to write. So s cube coefficient is 1, right? S cube coefficient as 1, and next s power 1 coefficient is 2, write 2 here, and the second row will be s square row. So the s square coefficient given as 3, write 3 here, and k into s power 0, because k is constant here, so s power 0, that means k, right? K here. Now construct the row array here. So 3 into 2 minus k into 1 by 3. So 3 into 2 means 6. So 6 minus k by 3. So the calculation is given here. So I'll get 6 minus k by 3. And if you multiply the same, and if you for s power 0, you can see this into this minus 0 into 3 by this one. So this into k minus 0 into 3. So this becomes 0. And 6 minus k by 3, and here 6 minus k by 3 will get cancelled. So we'll get k again here. So to satisfy that condition, k must be, so the first column must be positive, right? All the first column elements must be positive. That means here this element must be greater than 0. This is the condition. And here the k must be less than 6. Then only 6 minus, suppose k is 4, 6 minus 4 means 2. 2 by 3 is a positive value. So if this system is stable, then the k must be lies between 0 to 6. Okay, that's how we can determine the stability and determine the value of k.